Hey guys, so the first thing you want to do is set up Fingerprint Shortcuts. So when you apply Fingerprint to unlock your screen, just hold on to it a little bit longer. And it gives you 6 shortcuts that you could choose from. So let's say I unlock and I keep my finger right there and I get these 6 shortcuts. I could call someone, open a new tab in Chrome, a new reminder, take a selfie, or just take a new note or do a voice search. And if I don't want to do any of these, I just drop it into exit. Now to set this up, go into settings, go into utilities, and then hit quick launch. There are shortcut settings and these are the 6 that I have right now. You can, change the priority depending on what you want first. But you could always go ahead, delete these and add new shortcuts. There's a whole list of, some tasks that are repetitive and you might want to put that as a shortcut, or you could just have an app as a quick shortcut that you want to launch quickly. Alright, coming to the second one. Now, there's a chance that you might have a bunch of apps in your app drawer, and mine is a new phone so I don't have many, but you might. And you might be better off just searching for the app directly rather than scrolling through a bunch of, or a huge list of apps that you might have. And it's actually faster, you could just type and it gives you all the options. Now, you could actually make that a default selection. So go into Home Settings, and then there's an option called Drawer. Click on that and then just select Quick Search. Now, you're not going to see a list of apps instantly when you open your app drawer. Instead, when you open the app drawer, it'll immediately open up the keyboard and you can directly type in and look for the app that you were. And better yet, there are also some tags that are already pre-built. So let's say that you were looking from amongst, social apps. So just tap on social and all apps that correspond to that, even your Facebook and Twitter would show up here if those were installed. And guys, before we move on to the third one, do support my channel by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting that bell icon so you never miss a video from me. Okay, coming to the third one is quick gestures. So even in complete locked state, if I draw an O, it opens up the camera. Let's say my flashlight is turned off, I draw a V and it turns on. Again, just another V and it turns it off. And you can actually set more of these. So go into settings, go into buttons and gestures, and then quick gestures. Over there, you'd see that I have O, V, S, M, and W. Of course, O and V are already set. So let's go ahead and set up S. And let's say that, that should open up the calendar. And that's it. Now when I draw S, it's going to open up the calendar. So it does save me quite a bit of time and a bunch of clicks. And do explore other quick gestures that are there in that settings. So for example, flip to mute, 3-finger screenshot, double tap to wake up, so these are a couple of things that you could also try and enable at your end. Next, you should set up the way you navigate your OnePlus, that is the way you use your back, home, and recent apps keys. I personally like navigation gestures, which is what I'm using right now, and with just a couple of swipes from the bottom of the screen, you could pretty much use the back key, the home key, and the recent apps key. And it's a lot faster. I mean, swiping from the left and the right edge at the bottom just takes you back one step. So it's pretty much like the back key. Swiping up and holding from the center will give you recent apps. And just swiping up from the center without holding is pretty much like your home button. And to set it up real quick, just go into settings, then buttons and gestures, and then head over to navigation bar and gestures. Make sure navigation gestures is clicked, and then you can go through these tutorial screens that tell you exactly how to use navigation gestures most effectively. One drawback, however, with navigation gestures turned on is that you cannot customize the navigation bar. That is, you can't do more actions with it. Now, if you did change it to back, home, or recents, or to back and home combination, the navigation bar customizations do get active because now I have buttons. And tapping them, different things can happen. So let's go into navigation bar customization, and now you can see that, long pressing or double tapping a button could actually perform a specific task for you or a particular action for you. And that you could do with all 3 buttons that you have. So if I long press the home button, I could configure it to do something, but a double tap on that could do something else. Obviously, I can't change what a single tap can do because that's system configured and you wouldn't want to change that. The next is gaming mode, which is in the utilities settings. Basically, when you're playing games, there are a couple of settings that you would want for least interruption. So you would ideally want to answer calls via speaker. You want to limit your notifications that are coming. So, you want to change the style. Either it should just be a heads up or just text only, or you could block it all the way. You could have notifications for third-party calls coming in from Messenger or WhatsApp. You could also disable automatic brightness, and you could give a network boost to those apps. Now, currently I have PUBG only in gaming mode, but I could pretty much go ahead and add any app that I want. It doesn't have to be a game necessarily. So, let's say you're working in Google Drive or on Gmail. You don't want any interruption, and that's when you add that app in your gaming mode list, and all of those settings get applied when that app is on. Okay, the next one has to do with the animation effect that comes on when you scan your fingerprint. There are actually 3 of them in total, and if you do get bored of the one that you have, you could always go ahead and change it. So go into the fingerprint settings in your security settings, and then you'll see fingerprint animation effect. That's the one that I have right now. You probably have a different one which is called Cosmos. So if you tap on Cosmos, you'll see the one that you have, and then there are 2 more. So if you do get bored with Cosmos, just try Wave or the Stripe. The next thing you want to set up is you double tap on the home screen and it locks your device. So, it's very easy. Just go to the home screen and long press to get into the home settings, and then there's an option called double tap to lock. It's going to be turned off by default. Just turn it on and you're all set. Next, you should set up Smart Lock on your OnePlus 6T. It's an Android feature and not so much of a OnePlus exclusive feature, but essentially what it does is, as long as the phone understands that it is with you, it will never lock the screen. So if you see the options here, there's on body detection. So it'll use various sensors to know that it never left your body. Trusted location. So if it knows it's, that it's at home, it's probably with you and safe. If it's connected to a Bluetooth device that you connect to pretty often, then again, it knows it's, safe. And then there's voice match. So as long as it knows it is your voice and you say, okay, Google, it's going to go ahead and unlock the device. I think it's pretty easy and very seamless. You don't always need your device to be locked. The next one is enabling the earphone mode. So if you go into your sound settings, you will see something called as earphone mode, and it's more of an accessibility setting. So, it takes care of things like when you connect your earphone, it should automatically resume music playback. If you're connected to your earphones using Bluetooth, you can also configure it in a way that, when you get a call from someone, that someone's name is spoken to in your earphones, so you know who's calling, and you can get notification ringtones in your earphones. One thing that I really like about the Galaxy Note 9 or the Samsung flagships is that, they have their notifications, their clock styles, all on the lock screen as always on display. And it gives you a bit of more information, but it's always on. Unlike the OnePlus 6T, where the always on display only comes up when, you tap on the phone or when you move it, that's the only time when it comes up. So, for example, it's just going to go off now. And when I move it, it realizes that, it's being picked up. So it turns the always on display on, and then you can see whatever notifications, clock, date, calendar, whatever. And there's not much that you can do about it, except you need to turn these settings on as well. So go into settings, go into display, and then turn to ambient display. And just make sure that both of these settings are turned on, and you also turn on for new notifications. So every time, you get a new notification on your phone, your display is going to light up, and that way, at least you get to know that there's something new on your phone. It may not be always on, but it's better than nothing. Okay, jumping on to the next one, you would have noticed that my entire phone has a black theme to it. So whether it's my phone dialer, whether it's the messaging app, or whether it's gallery, all of these are in dark mode. Now by default, the 6T ships with the light theme. So you got to go into display and change your theme to dark. Now there are a couple of reasons you should do that. One, it's going to save you battery. Second, it's just easier on the eyes. And third, it looks really badass and it changes all your native apps to dark theme as well. Moving on, if you have some apps and you don't want people to be able to access them, you could go into settings and then go into utilities and use the app locker that's built into the OnePlus 6T. So just open the app locker and then go ahead and add apps like, it could be WhatsApp, it could be Instagram, it could be your dating apps, and you can just lock them. You could also hide notifications from those apps so that they're not even available on the lock screen. Okay, next. Now, I know you guys are really kicked about using the in-display fingerprint reader on the OnePlus 6T. That's the new thing that they've brought. But if you compare it to the previous generation fingerprint readers, it is slower. In fact, at times, it does not even work. That's why you must set up the face unlock. It's still crazy fast. It's extremely fast actually. And again, I haven't even seen any other Android phone be that fast. I mean, just look at how fast it is. I'm just gonna quickly, there you go. See? So, I sometimes don't even see the lock screen if I'm looking at my phone directly. It is that fast. So do set it up. And the last one is a pretty funky one actually. Now, you might have noticed that if your phone's kept on table, it becomes a little difficult to, use your thumbs and unlock the screen. But if you had your index finger registered as, a finger to use to unlock, things become a lot easier. So just make sure you register your left and right index finger to unlock the device.